Hey everybody, so it's time for me to do my July wrap up. I know, it's coming a bit late in the month. But to be honest with you, August has flown by and I just have lost all track of time. So I'm a little bit late, but that doesn't mean I don't have a great stack of books to tell you about. And I cannot wait, so let's get started. Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you all doing today? As always, I hope you're happy, I hope you're healthy, I hope you're safe, and of course I hope you're reading an amazing book or two or three or four. I have to be honest with you, it is still very warm in Northern California and I am tired of it. I am ready for fall, I'm ready for some cooler weather, I'm ready to just not be hot and sweaty. But overall, I really cannot complain. It has been a fantastic reading month, it's just been good. So really, there's no complaints other than the heat. Today I'm here to talk about the books that I read, and it is a small stack, and I will tell you why. Because in July, I started reading, at the end of July, as you may know, the Booker Prize announced its long list, and I dove into that. So a few of the books that I finished in the end of July, because I really dove in, so I was able to get a number of books done in even that small amount of time. I'm saving for my Booker conversation with Bernie. I am going to talk about two of them today. But I'm saving most of those. So I have a small stack of five really fantastic books to tell you about. So get out your pen, get out your paper, get out your Goodreads, however you keep track of your TBR. If you are so able, please get these books from your local independent bookstore, or if you're a library user, get your library to get you a copy as soon as possible. The first book I want to tell you about is a graphic novel. It's volume 2 in a series, and that is Lore Olympus by Rachel Smythe, out from Del Rey. And this is a retelling of the Hades Persephone myth from good old Greek mythology, and it is just fantastic. I will say it's a little more PG-13 R-rated, so don't be I don't know that I would hand this to a 10-year-old to read, but hey, there are 10-year-olds that are way more sophisticated than I. But it is so beautiful. I'm trying to find like a good representation. Just look at how beautiful the art is, and the way Rachel uses color is just amazing, and it's really well done. It's like a modernization of this tale set sort of in a world with social media and all that kind of stuff, but still holds true to sort of the core of what those myths were all about and how they work. It's just really clever. I'm really loving it. I cannot wait for volume 3 to come out. So I highly recommend volume 1 and volume 2 of Lore Olympus by Rachel Smythe, out from Del Rey Books. I don't recommend that many graphic novels anymore, and I really need to do more of that. The Spilling Tea Book Club read the amazing novella Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata, translated from the Japanese by Ginny Tapley Takamori, and this is out from Grove here, this adorable little paperback. I don't know how to explain this book other than I thought it was brilliant. So it's about a woman who works in a convenience store. She's clearly has a very unique perspective on the way that the world works. And she is very happy in the convenience store, but she gets immense pressure, societal pressure, from the people she works with and also from her family to sort of become normal, get married, leave this job, and sort of become a wife and a mother. But she doesn't really ever want that. I will say she's one of those people, one of those characters that says exactly what she's thinking, and sometimes it is rather shocking. Like, she has this emotional void, but it's just this lack of connection with the people in the world, and really where she finds happiness is in this convenience store. Well, she decides to try to make her life normal, and the book sort of really goes into what that does to her and how she sort of perceives those around her as she tries to make this change. There's a way, I don't know, for me it sort of has that, I don't know, Mrs. Dalloway tone, you know, sort of that stream of consciousness, very open, but in a way shielded from the interior in a lot of ways. I'm saying that like I know what I'm talking about. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. So that's Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata, translated again from the Japanese by Ginny Tapley Takamori, and out here in the US from Grove. Really liked it. I need to pick up another. I think she has one other book out in the US, Earthlings, I believe it's what it's called, that I will be getting my hand on. Then I decided to go a little bit fantasy and read Dudley Education by Naomi Novik. This is out here again. Del Rey Books making two appearances. This is the first book in a trilogy, and the second book is out, and the third book is coming out very, very soon. So if you're one of those people that needs a trilogy to do to be complete before you start it, it's right around the corner. So this is the story. This is so funny. So this is about a magic school. So there is a world of magic and there is this school, but it is not like our preconceived notions of these happy magic schools. People go to this school and not many survive the entire years. Our main character is a young girl who is, I believe she's a junior this year. And she has a reputation of being very dark, and she knows that she has very dark abilities. She has a lot of power, but power in a negative space, but she wants to be good. And it starts with this idea of this boy, this guy named Orion, who keeps saving her life, and she hates it, and she just wants to kill him because she's tired of sort of being in debt to him. And that sort of kicks off everything. And we learn about this magic school, we learn about her, and we learn about sort of this society. I will say it's complicated, but Naomi Novik does a great job of world building while keeping the momentum going. And basically we find out that this school, at the end of the year, the seniors are sort of put in this room where all of these monsters are, and it's like survival of the fittest. So you spend all 4 years collecting magical energy and capital in order to try to escape, in order to join the real world. Well, if you are by yourself or solo, that becomes even more difficult. So this relationship that she sort of starts to develop with this boy that is saving her life, it's complicated because she doesn't really enjoy this feeling of owing him one, but in the same time, she starts to see the game that's being played around her. There are so many fascinating characters. The world is really cool. It's darker than most books about schools of magic, which I really actually quite appreciated. And I have the second book. I'm going to get the third. I'm really, really enjoying it. So this is Dudley Education by Naomi Novik. This is out from Del Rey Books, and you can get your hands on book 1 and 2, and book 3 comes out. I want to say it's in September or October. Don't quote me. I've just seen the arcs going around the world. So, okay. So now I'm going to talk about two Booker books, two very different Booker books. And I'm about to give probably a very, very controversial opinion about one of them. So get ready. Here we go. So the first one everyone probably read on the Booker long list was Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan, out from Grove here in the United States. It's a whopping 116 pages, I think, with a font that you can basically read from space. So it is a very, very short book. This is set in Ireland, and it's the story of a man whose job, I think it's in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, mid-80s, like 1985, in this small Irish town. It's a Christmas book, so it's very set in that Christmas feel. Christmas is coming, and our main character is works for a company that delivers like coal and wood to different locations, and he provides the power to heat homes and houses and stuff like that. And he is a father, and we learn that he was raised in a very wealthy house. But it was because his mother was a housekeeper of some sort for a very wealthy woman who got pregnant out of wedlock, and then this woman sort of took him in. So he's had this very sort of unique and special life, and now he has a woman. He has, I think, 4 or 5 daughters. I can't remember exactly. One day he goes to a convent, a nunnery that is a place where young women are being taken care of. And when he walks in there, he just immediately has a bad sense about this place. And he keeps sort of juggling in his mind interactions he has with a couple of young girls there. And he starts to feel like something's wrong and he needs to do something about it. And that's all I'll say. This was based on a true story of the Magdalena Laundry, Ireland's last Magdalena Laundry, which didn't close down until 1996. I need to do some more research into that. I know I have a number of Irish viewers. You can please educate me. There is clearly this sort of ominous tone to what is going on. We don't get a ton of insight into that because it's very much from the perspective of this one man. Now, the problem I had with the book is it's too short. Like it doesn't develop everything that I wanted it to be. I don't think I connected 100% with the main character. I didn't get the angst or the energy that I think it wanted me to have around what was going on, because if you're not really completely knowledgeable of the situation, it's left a lot vague. And I found that problematic. So I thought this book was fine. I read it. It probably took me 2 hours. And it made me want to research more into the thing. But as a book, as a novel in and of itself, I found it a bit forgettable and not very engaging. And I know a lot of people really love it. So please go find their reviews. I know they will absolutely rave about it. And that is perfectly fine. That's what is fantastic about books. It just didn't work for me. And I know a lot of people it did. So that's Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan out here in the US from Grove. And it is on the Booker long list. And the next one I read is also on the Booker long list, and that's Trust by Hernan Diaz. This is out by Riverhead in the United States. And I have to say that I more or less expected this book to be on the Booker long list. It screams Booker to me. So I saw Hernan Diaz talk about this book, and he said it is his meditation on this idea of the accumulation of wealth in America. And we often talk about money in a lot of ways in literature, but we very rarely talk about the accumulation of wealth. And he really wanted to dive into that, and I think he's done a fantastic job. Told in 4 sections, they're all sort of like these fictional works of literature. The first section is a novel that is written about a man and his life and his accumulation of wealth, how his family got the wealth, what he did with his wealth, and his relationship with his wife. It does not paint a fantastic picture of the main character, the man in the novel, and his relationship of what happens. His wife becomes ill and all of that. So it was very Edith Wharton. It was very much that tone. I will say it was the hardest part for me to get through because that's not my normal sort of read. So I was sort of struggling a little bit, but I was fascinated. The next section is a autobiography, written by the man that the book is supposedly based on, and his response, sort of his answer to everything in that book. And it is incomplete. There's a lot of like fragmented sections, but it's rather quite fascinating what he chooses to rebut and what he chooses to how he chooses. Okay. The third section is a journal memoir about a woman who used to work for this man in his New York, she worked in his house. I'm not going to explain to you what her job was because that's part of the thrill of this. But as each section goes by, more pieces and pieces of the puzzle are coming together. And the idea of how the accumulation of wealth affects people, not only the people that we're talking about, but those around in the world and the country, is very well done. And then the final section is a journal from the wife, and we get sort of her thoughts during a period of her time. I'm going to keep that very, very quiet because I think that that's part of the magic of this book. It's one of those novels that as you read each section, the section before becomes clearer. And I personally thought by the end, this book was brilliant. I think it looks at not only wealth, but America, and also people in such a unique and driving way that you're sort of left to ponder what the world would be like if money didn't drive us the way that we are sort of raised to allow it to drive us. I thought it was really, really good. It reminded me a lot of one of my favorite books, Cloud Atlas. You know, when you read that book, yeah, that book switches times and stuff like that. This book does not. But it's like each section is individual, but without the other sections, none of the sections make sense. And I thought that was really, it's really hard to do. And both Hernan and David Mitchell do it phenomenally. So I highly recommend Trust by Hernan Diaz. It is excellent, excellent, excellent. And it's out here by Riverhead. So I told you that was a small stack of books. It wasn't many, but all of them pretty good, except for I have one. You know, I don't have many tough reviews on my channel. I'm not one to read books just to hate read. I don't usually finish something I'm not enjoying because I don't have time. So this was the one where you got a little bit of a negative critique on a book. And really my only critique is I needed more. I needed more because I just wanted more from it. So as always, if you are a return subscriber, I could not do this without you. Thank you so very, very much. If you are new to my channel, I thank you for coming by. I hope you hit subscribe. I hope you click the bell and all that fun and exciting stuff. As always, I encourage you to read globally, shop locally, and until next time, I wish you happy reading. Bye, everyone.